Okay, we are back with Dr. Holly. Doctor, you had sent me over a selection of some of the subtle psychological assists that you thought would be great for us to talk about that are really important in our arena. I wanted to start, if it's okay with you, with likability.
Right.
Um,
Okay. So first, I'm going to start out by saying we have to be very careful when we say subtle psychological assists. We are going to be using all of them for the power of good, okay? Not for the power of
I
evil.
can't guarantee everyone listening is strictly looking for good. Is that?
Pinky swear.
All right, so I'll put a little warning at the end of the episode, and
That
we'll be in
works.
good shape.
That works. But yeah, likability, and we all know this. We've all known, I'm going to call them abrasive people. We have had abrasive people in our lives. We've had people in our lives that if we see them coming, we whip around, we go the opposite direction. Those people are going to have trouble influencing anybody. Okay. So, likability is one of the psychological things that we can do. We can make sure that we're likable, we're nice, we're kind, we're people that anybody would want to hang out with or talk to. If people speak to us, we speak back, we say hello, we're happy. That's the likability factor. So, if somebody likes you, they're a whole lot more likely to be influenced by you.
Yep. And have you ever met somebody that instantly you didn't find them likable?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I wouldn't trust you as far as I could throw you across the room, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, all of that foundation goes out the window. And in fact, I will share this. Just yesterday, I had, and I've got a big social media presence, but I'd put something out on social media. I only post very positive, very professional, very work oriented things. And I'd put something out there, and somebody that I've known for a while, for the 5 millionth time, put a negative comment on it. And I did what I was. I went, and I deleted the comment. And then I was so frustrated because this individual is just, I call them an Eeyore. If you remember Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, it's like, oh bother, right? Oh bother.
Uh,
And I thought,
yep.
I'm going to unfriend this person. And I thought, no, this is a teaching opportunity. So I private messaged that person and said, in especially this current environment, I'm trying to be very positive. I'm trying to keep myself positive, my followers positive. I want only positive things on my wall. You continue to put up negative things. I would appreciate it if you would no longer do that. And I didn't hear anything for a while. And I thought, I have really aggravated this person. But then they wrote back and they said, I can't believe it. I went back and looked and I am very negative and I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Thank you for being a friend and pointing that out.
Wow.
And
Very.
I thought, wow, that did not turn out as I expected. Much better than I expected. But sometimes we have to say to people, not sure you're aware, but your gloominess is showing. Can we help you with that gloominess?
Yeah. Boy, and that is it. It's great that you were able that you felt comfortable enough to share that and to say that to them. I can remember riding with people, riding coaching sessions, and my wife would laugh because I'd come home after a day of riding with somebody all day, and we're out there to sell, and I'd tell them, I don't know how anybody likes them enough to buy from them. You're going in as a salesperson and you're not trying to be likable.
Right.
It's just, or we're in a restaurant. We sold a lot of restaurants, and we'd be in a restaurant and we'd be having like a small meal waiting to meet with the business owner.
Sure.
And I don't care what my meal came like. I'm happy. I'm talking to the server. I'm loving it. Everything is great. I would see a seller send something back or ridicule the people and it's just like, yeah, this is not going to go well. A lot of times when I talk to people, I ask them, I love your fundamentals from the beginning, the trust, the respect. Tell me about somebody that you trust, you respect, that communicates well, that you really have a strong impression of. Were they likable?
Mm.
And they always are, right? To me, that's why I wanted to start with likability. It's so important. And I wish somehow we could tell everybody, as you did that one poster, hey, become more likable. Life is just going to be better for you.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. Yeah.
All right. One of the next ones I wanted to talk about was the collecting favors. So this is interesting because this is that good or evil, I think, could come into play here. How does collecting favors work into influence?
It is so weird because if you basically ask people to do favors for you, it allows you to influence them. Believe it or not, when people do things for you, they feel more attached to you. They feel more like they're an investment in you. So and it doesn't have to be big. You can say, can you do me a favor? I left my pen. Can I borrow your pen? And immediately they feel a connection to you. There's the favor. They're giving you the pen. So if you're collecting favors, by the time you get ready to do the ask, they're already kind of moving along with you and they feel like when they're more in your court, they're more likely to say yes.
Fantastic. Now, when you teach that, right, in the groups, when you're going through that, does a light bulb go off? Do most people get that and start looking at some of the subtle ways they can do that?
Yeah, and I've done a lot of sales teams. It's really interesting, especially in the medical device and pharmaceutical arenas. And those people, every once in a while, they'll go, you know what? I just do that instinctively. I didn't realize that I was actually getting all this good luck because I was doing that. But asking to borrow a pen, asking if can I borrow a notepad? I want to make sure I get this down and get it right for you. Believe it or not, those are seen as favors because you should be walking right. We all say, oh, I should be walking in as a professional with everything I need. Maybe not. Maybe that's your opportunity to create that familial feel, I guess, that allows us to be more influential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let me ask you. So let's say we're going to have a meeting, and you walk in and you're meeting somebody for the first time, and they ask you, can we get you a cup of coffee? Or I know you're a tea drinker, right?
Right, right.
And would you like a cup of hot tea, a water? What's the proper answer there when it comes to subtle influence?
Absolutely, yes. I would love something. Thank you so much for thinking of this. I was so thirsty when I walked in, and I cannot believe you're suggesting this. I appreciate it.
Fantastic. Yep, absolutely. What I always like too, I'm a nervous person, so a lot of times, and I'm very finicky, so I'm really tough with things. But I would used to show people, hey, if they offer it, absolutely do it, because I always looked at one of the things on a call. I want to have their attention, and I don't want to be rushed out of an office in 4 minutes.
Right.
When they do bring me, whether it's a cup of tea, cup of coffee, it almost gives us the impression we're going to be settling in here for a few minutes. This is going to be a good, it almost has more of that family conversation. And
it's
I
a
think
fireside chat. Yeah,
exactly. And that works in. I love the way I hope you don't mind, I am forevermore going to steal it as collect favors. Because I used to call it back in the day. And I always felt evil, right, when I would speak it. But I'd be like, I want to establish guilt. I want this person to feel like they owe me something or I owe them something. And but collecting favors is the 2020 way to do that. So
a positive spin on guilt. Yes,
absolutely, because we're only working for good here. There's no evil.
That's right. Thank you, swear. That's right.
All right. Let's talk about the chameleon effect. I've heard different things. What exactly do you mean by that?
The chameleon effect is also called mirroring or imitating. So as we all know, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Now, it doesn't mean that we're going to be exactly imitating the person, but if the person sits down, we should sit down. If the person stands up, we should stand up. If the person is, you're getting the idea. If they're dressed a certain way, like you said earlier, I told you I'd have the callback. You should be dressed a similar way. If they are angled to a side, then you can also angle to a side while you're talking to them. All of that, believe it or not, breeds a familiar feeling, and it makes both of you much more likely to be influenced by the other.
Fantastic.
So it sounds evil. I've had people say, so if they sit like this, I'm to sit like that. No, not like, not exactly. And if they laugh, if they say something funny and they laugh, it's a good idea to find it amusing, even if you don't. That's what we're talking about with the chameleon effect or mirroring. So chameleons, as you well know, turn whatever color their surroundings so that they're more camouflaged. And that's what we're saying here. Basically, kind of fit in, blend in with people. Don't be seen as very different from the people that you're trying to establish that relationship with.
Yeah. I actually think there's a few business owners in New Jersey that still think I'm a New York Giants fan. So I don't know where they got that from, but I think they still think that. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I was asked by, I'm going to leave these out, but a college football team and a professional football team have pre-COVID, they had huge fan base events when it was football day for their teams. And I was asked to come in. I do some amateur photography, and I was asked to come in and take pictures of the crowd. And everywhere I went, they assumed I was a fan. And I couldn't have been more not a fan of either of those two teams.
They're going to make any impression they want, right? We're just
That's
not
exactly
going to
right.
ruin that impression.
And I wasn't going to correct their assumptions. I just smiled. Yeah.
And I'm assuming that that smile is part of the five foundations, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. And you also see me doing this. So smiling and nodding are two of my old standbys. You can't not get along better with somebody if they smile. It's almost like a personal mission for me. If I'm out and about in public, just running errands, and I see a sales clerk that's having a bad day, a cashier that's having a bad day, a customer that's having a bad day, I'll smile. Sometimes I'll even talk to them. I'll even say something as an attempt to just, oh, wow, that person looks very cloudy. I think I'll go help them out. I don't know what it is about me that I want to do that. But smiling and nodding both ingratiate yourself with the other person. So it's an easy way to automatically fit in, blend in, be seen as a friend rather than a foe. And I've had people say, I don't feel like smiling. Sometimes fine, smile anyway. Because study after study after study shows that if you smile, the rest of your psyche will catch up to that smile. And pretty soon you're feeling better than you were.
Yeah, absolutely. And my wife taught me, she's a big believer in wanting to be a blessing to everyone she meets all day. And you truly never know, that one smile.
It can be maybe all they see all day. Yeah.
And it could be fantastic, and it could change their perspective. And so it's just a great thing. I have two or three more I really am hoping to get to. Can we come back for another minute?
Absolutely.
All right.